How's it going, everyone? I thought I would make an options video. I'm going to go into a little bit of detail just about what my strategy is, a little bit about how you select your options, or really how I select the options contract that I use. Just very briefly discuss what options are. Essentially, it's an investment tool that you can use for future purchases and basically get some value out of your future stock purchases. That's just really simple. If you want to learn more about what options actually are, I suggest just do a little bit of research on Google or something along those lines, and you'll get a better indication of what options are actually used for. But if you already know what options are, let me just go ahead and point out some of the characteristics that I like to use. So basically, we've got an Options Express account here, and it's pretty simple. I've got the Qs, and I'm going to highlight those. The Qs are just an index that I like because their option chains, their spreads are really small. You can get pretty good options prices for a $57, $58 stock there. So it's actually I really like this index a lot. In the stock a lot. So, alright, so let's take a look what we got. We've got a strike price, we have the open interest, volume, bid and ask, net change, and the actual last purchase price. Okay, so about options, your expiration date is extremely important. I guess I'll go ahead and point out that if you are interested in trading options, you should definitely do as much research as you can and really understand what you're getting into, because options, unlike buying a stock, they do expire, and once they've reached expiration, they are worthless. So it is quite a bit more dangerous if you're really not comfortable with trading options, and if you're not comfortable with how they work and understanding them, you could really lose a lot. Okay, so let's get started with the strike price. I typically like to buy strike price that's in the money, and what that means is if you look and see that this is $57.88, so approximately $57 to $58, somewhere in there would be considered in the money. So I typically like to buy in the money. They are a little bit more expensive, but and your premium price here is actually what you're paying, and that is a bit more expensive, but it's significantly less risky. So I want to talk about probably the most important thing, and let's find what this is. It's not good enough. Let's go here. Okay, let's go here. This one's good enough. So this option chain here at $54, which is quite a bit in the money, but the reason that I like this is because it has a delta of 72, and basically, if you're not familiar with what a delta is, it is the ratio between the stock price and the option price. So what that means, if it's at 72, which you can see I've got highlighted there, that means that if the stock moves $1, the option will move approximately 72 cents. So it's a percentage. It's 72% of the stock price movement is what you would gain or lose on the option chain. I strictly do not trade anything below 70 to 90. I always pick a strike price with a delta of at least 70 to 90. And the reason is because it's significantly less risk. If you get on the wrong side of the trade and you actually buy a put and you should have bought a call, you actually won't lose as much money as opposed to buying a delta down here in the 30s and 40s. So that is one of the most important things if you take away from this. If nothing else, delta between 70 and 90 is the most important thing. Okay, so let's take a look at, I've got intrinsic value and time value. Here, this is actually just barely cutting it. You want your intrinsic value to be at least 70%, because your time value can be manipulated by the bid and ask price by the market maker. So you want at least 72, or at least 70%. Here I've got 72%. Also, another key thing is expiration. Back to that real quick. I always buy an option chain with at least 4 to 6 weeks until expiration, so it gives me a bit of a cushion if I do get on the wrong side of the trade, or if I'm down a little bit on the trade and I'm waiting for a pullback so that I can take my profit. Sometimes it does happen, and you get in sort of a bad entry, but that way you have a little bit of a cushion. Also, the last 2 weeks prior to option expiration, I do not want to be trading in because it's extremely risky, and the options contracts actually decrease in value exponentially because they're approaching expiration and they're becoming more and more worthless, right? Okay, so like I said, delta between 70 and 90, intrinsic value of at least 70%, and 4 to 6 weeks at least until expiration. Lastly, we have open interest. I'd like to have at least 1,000 in open interest. You can have a little bit of leadway on that, but that's really about it. I think that's really about everything that I keep it really simple, but that's kind of my strategy and what I use for actually purchasing an options contract. If I think of anything else, I'll add that in, but I will probably make a few other videos here for some of you guys that you actually have shown interest in, and I hope that this has been somewhat educational and just explaining the simplicity of my strategy and what sort of options contracts that I do purchase. Anyways, I hope you guys had a good weekend, and good luck on your trades. Take care.